Good morning, my dear students. This video is for the 5th grade for primary stage. Our lesson today is about food relationships in living organisms. You know, my dear students, that every living organism in our world seeks for his food. So, let's start with plant. Do you know how plant get its food? There are two types of plants. Plants that we call autotrophic plants. Autotrophic plants means they make their own food by themselves. These plants make a process called photosynthesis process. What is the photosynthesis process? Here, if you imagine that this is a plant, the plant or the green plants absorb water and the mineral salts from the soil. Also, it obtains carbon dioxide gas from air, and it also obtains the light energy from the sun. All these factors react together in the green leaf to produce oxygen and nutrients. These nutrients are the food for the plant. So, the plant here makes its own food by itself. This is we call an autotrophic organism. This is for the green plant. But there are some other plants that can't make their own food. They can't absorb protein from the soil. So, it obtains its need for the protein from some insects as Drosera and Dionea. These plants capture insects to obtain the energy. You can here see in this picture some types of plants that capture insects. Here there is the Drosera and here is Dionea. As you see, it captures the insects to obtain the protein inside it. Okay, what about the animals? How do animals obtain their energy? How do they obtain their food to obtain their energy? There is something called predation. The predation is a process where the wild animal, which we call a predator, prey on weak animals such as deer. For example, lion preys or devours the deer. Also we have cat, which prey the rat. Also, we have some pictures here. I'll show you some another examples for predation. Do you know the spider? Yes, spider make woven to capture flies. As here, you see the lion prey a snake. Also, there's the wolf which preys a rabbit. And here, a cat which preys a rat. Also, the spider which have make woven to catch insects. Okay, do animals let themselves to be a prey every time? No, they have to protect themselves. So I explain now the ways of self-defense against predation. I mean, some animals make self-defense, يعني وسيلة دفاع عن النفس. How do animals self-defense against predation? We have the camouflage phenomena. What is camouflage? It's a phenomena where the animal changes its color to hide from enemies. Also, we have examples here. Do you see this butterfly? Do you see how it changes its color? And this frog make its color green like the surrounding environment. And also this the parrot. Do you know the chameleon? The chameleon changes its color every time according to the environment surrounding it. If it was in a green surrounding area, its color becomes green. If it go to the sand in the desert, its color becomes yellow. So the chameleon make a camouflage to hide from its enemy. Also, there is another way to self-defense, which we call mimicry. The mimicry is an imitation. What is meant by imitation? Imitation means تقليد. The bee imitate wasp. Imitate wasp how? The bee make itself strip like the wasp to frighten the enemies. You know the wasp is a frighten for enemies. So the mimicry is an imitation in which the bee imitate wasp to fright its enemy. Okay, the second type of food relationship in animals is the symbiosis. The symbiosis is a relationship between two living organisms. But there is 3 types of symbiosis according to the relation. The first type called mutualism. The mutualism is a food relationship that the both living organisms benefit from each other. Both of them benefits from each other. Benefits means يستفيد. Okay? The both animals benefit from each other. For example, we have legumes and nodular bacteria. What are the legumes and the nodular bacteria? The legumes are plants that have a seed of dicotyledon. What is meant by dicotyledon? Do you know the bean? الفول. كلنا عارفين ان الفول البذرة بتاعته its seed contain of two halves, two identical halves. يعني البذرة لو احنا مسكناها وبصينا عليها هنلاقيها عبارة عن جزئين متماثلين, two identical halves. For example, the legumes may be bean, peas اللي هي البسلة, soya bean فول الصويا, also you know the الترمس, الحمص, all are these legumes. These plants can't absorb nitrogen from the soil. Again, the legumes can't absorb nitrogen from the soil. So, there are some type of bacteria which we call nodular bacteria. It's like this. The nodular bacteria are found in the soil to fix nitrogen. It makes a fixation of nitrogen to give it to the plant. So, the nodular bacteria benefit from the bean plant. Okay, what is the benefit of the bean plant? It fixes bacteria, it fixes nitrogen for the bean plant. And the bean plant gives it sugars. Again, the bean plant or legumes plant gives the bacteria what it needs from the sugars. Okay? So here, the both organisms, both living organisms benefits from each other. The second type is what we call commensalism. Commensalism is a food relationship between two living organisms. One of them gets benefit, the other neither is harmed nor is benefit. Again, it's a relationship between two living organisms. One of them gets benefit from the other. Here, the tiny aquatic organisms benefits from the sponge. بمعنى إن الكائنات البحرية الدقيقة بتستفيد من السبونج اللي هو الإسفنج, حيوان بحري بنسميه سبونج. How it benefit from it? بتستفيد منه إزاي؟ The sponge gives it the shelter or the home and also gives it some nutrients. Okay? What about the sponge? The sponge neither get benefit nor is harmed. ولا بيستفيد ولا بيحصل له ضرر. The third type of symbiosis we call parasitism. Parasitism, we have two types from it. Internal parasitism and external parasitism. What is this? The internal parasitism means all worms like filaria, ascaris, bilharzia worm, and tapeworm. These worms are found inside the host, which is the human here in this case. Filaria cause a disease called elephantiasis. I'll show you some pictures. Here there are the worms. This is bilharzia worm, and this is ascaris worm, and finally this is the tapeworm. I told you that filaria causes some disease which is called elephantiasis. Here the leg become bigger and bigger that resembles the elephant. Okay? We have also bilharzia worm which causes bilharziasis. And the ascaris cause anemia disease. Do you know anemia? Ascaris cause anemia. which means it parasite on the skin of the host externally, as mosquito, which cause malaria disease. Also we have flea, lice, and bugs. The third type of food relationship between living organisms is saprophytism. Saprophytism means there are micro living organisms which decompose food remains. يعني يا اولاد احنا لما بنسيب ساعات العيش بره بننساه بعد يومين ثلاثه بنبص نلاقيه حصل له ايه؟ تعفن. ده اللي بنسميه saprophytism. المايكرو organisms decompose this type of food and causes its decomposition. Example for this is the bread mold fungus, which is found on the bread, and also mushroom fungus, and finally there is the penicillium fungus, which decompose orange fruit. This is our lesson. Wait for me for another video. Thank you.